About less than 24 hours ago, I had did or put a tweet up about women as a collective checking their misandry. And I had, some people had agreed with me and I had some people that gave me some pushback, but that was to be expected. Who would have thought that less than 24 hours later that I would come across a video that literally proved my point or just would have triggered what I had put out there on Twitter just the day prior. Now, I want y'all to listen to what this individual has to say, or should I say just said, that literally has people on Twitter going in on her. Like everybody from every walk of life has gone in on her ever since I came across this post. And then I'm going to dissect what she said, even though it won't be that hard to understand.
Also, just one more thing before I go into work. I'm becoming afraid of my hatred for men. It started as a fun little, those TikToks where people are like, don't make jokes about having kinks because your brain doesn't know you're joking, and it actually develops them. I think I joked way too much about hating men, and now I am genuinely, in a sexist way, I hate them. Like in a way that a white man from Alabama hates black people. I hate men. I walk past them and I want to kill them. And they aren't even doing anything. I just see them and it fills me with rage. I don't know how to stop. It's gone way too far. It consumes me.
Okay, so y'all just heard what she said right there, and we're going to dissect what she said. Like I told you, it's not hard to understand or figure out what she did. And ironically, her TikTok name is Killer Veronica. She already told you right there in her name what her intentions are, and then she basically said it right there toward the end of the video. But we're going to break this down. So I'm going to play it back bit by bit. It's going to kind of remind you of the video that I did about the Academy member.
Also, just one more thing before I go into work. I'm becoming afraid of my hatred for men.
Now, let's start with that part right there. First off, she says she's getting ready to go into work. I hope that whoever employs her sees this video and they reprimand her of her job, period. Especially if she works around even just one man. Even, like I said, if she even just works around one guy, one person with the XY chromosome, she does not need to be working around them at all. And she needs to be fired, period. That's my stance on it. And I think that's everybody else's stance on it. I'm not about, making people lose their jobs. But with what she said in this video, she doesn't need to be in a work environment, especially if it's around the opposite sex. And she says now let me run that back a little bit because I didn't catch that last part.
Becoming afraid of my hatred for men.
She says she's becoming afraid of her hatred for men. That's a person you need to really watch out for because you don't know how they're going to react. Like, really pay attention to what she said. I am becoming afraid of my hatred for men. Meaning she does not know what she will do if she's in the vicinity of a man. Like she feels that she will snap and go into a rage if she's around just one man, no matter who the guy is. If you are someone who is identified as a man, she is afraid of you. And she says she's afraid of her hatred for men, which means she doesn't know how far her hatred for men will go until she's in the moment. This is a textbook person who is not all the way right upstairs in the head. She doesn't need to be around people, especially those of the opposite sex.
It started as a fun little, those TikToks where people are like, don't make jokes about having kinks because your brain doesn't know you're joking, and it actually develops them. I think I joked way too much about hating men.
Listen to that. She said her hatred of men started off as a joke. Basically, she was allowing her mind to play tricks on her of her hating men, to the point where she's played the joke so much in her head, so many different ways in various forms and formations, that now it has manifested itself as a reality for her to hate men. Like, she created illusions for herself of hating men, that now it has set in that, I really do actually hate men. They disgust me. Maybe these weren't jokes. Maybe this wasn't an illusion. Maybe it was a reality the entire time, but I was trying to trick myself into not believing. No, I'm not into not believing it, but into believing it. But now it actually, it has kicked in for me.
And now I am genuinely, in a sexist way,
Now I want you to pay attention. She said in a sexist way. Now notice that a lot of these women out here who claim to be feminists, even though this is going beyond feminism, this is going into the direction of misandry. And you've heard it when I played the whole thing, and I'll bring it up again. And notice how she started. This is what I like to say when they're trying to get their words together and they start doing like that, she's glitching. That's how I always like to say when people do that, they're glitching. I usually say it in a comedic way. But this is not funny. This is far from hilarious. What you're listening to, what you're witnessing right here is not funny whatsoever. This is serious, and it's very dangerous at the same time. Like, I'm fearful for any man that comes across her. Like, for real. That's why I'm glad she put her face out there so people know who she is.
I hate them. Like,
now listen to how she said, I hate them. That's how she said it. I hate them. That's why I say you always got to pay attention to tone. It went from almost sounding lighthearted to now going into she went through 3 tones, and you'll hear the third one. She went into now she's going into the more serious route now. Now at this point, she's no longer joking. She's no longer trying to pretty it up. Now she's getting into that tone, into that level where she has at her wit's end with men.
In a way that a white man from Alabama hates black people?
Listen to that example. I hate men in a way like a white man from Alabama hates black people. Now, why would she use that as an analogy? Why would she use racism as an analogy for her to hate men? Because many people who have responded to this are saying, is she really hating men in general, or is she hating black men? Because I can't really pinpoint what her ethnicity is, but she looks ambiguous. Like, I can tell there's some kind of a mix going on with her. Like, she's not all the way white, but she has something going on there that she could not be, quote unquote, white identified. Now, a lot of people started going into her when they was saying how she claims to hate men, but she has a short haircut. I've noticed that a lot of people who think like her do their best to try to emulate a man, not so much always looking like them, but also in a way where they have a thought process of a man, so much to the point where it goes to the extreme. But again, going back to my original point, why would she use the analogy of a white man from Alabama hating black people is the same way of her hating men? That's a very, very interesting analogy that she used as an example to get her point across.
I hate men. I walk past them and I want to kill them.
There it is. Now it has gone from feminism. Well, actually, it was not even really feminism. Now she's deep into the misandry route. Now notice I said her tone in the beginning, it was very soft, kind of. Then it got a little bit more intense. Now she's at that highest point. I hate men. I hate them. That's how she was sounding. Like the true venomness of her mindset has come out of her mouth, and through her tone, now we see where she's at with this. This chick is so far gone. At this point, it was almost like a coronation process, a transformation, if you will. And now that's her. She's full blown with it. And she has to be, for her to get onto social media, put her face out there, and to spill this rhetoric. She believes and has internalized what she said. Remember, she said she joked around with it until she could believe it. And now she believes it and has internalized it. Now it is real to her and only her. But it wouldn't stop her from trying to poison the minds of others with that same rhetoric. She also doesn't need to be around children, because children's minds are still molding. They're impressionable. And who knows what she could be telling kids. She could be telling little girls to go out there and hate boys. And if she's around boys, she could be telling them that you're this and that you're that, and you're not worthy of being liked or loved or cared for or whatever else. This is why I say she is dangerous. But you'll hear it again in a couple of seconds.
And they aren't even doing anything. I just see them and it fills me with rage. I don't know how to stop.
She said that when she sees them, she just wants to kill them, and they're not even doing anything to her. It just fills her with rage. Her just seeing a man minding his business, doing his thing, not doing anything to her or anything to affect her well-being, fills her with rage that she wants to kill them. I'm not putting words into her mouth. This is what she's saying. This is what she put out into the universe, and she believes that. And look at how she put her hand over her mouth, as if she was trying to stop herself from saying those things that she clearly meant to say. And then people try to say toxic misandry is not a real thing. Like I told you, not even 24 hours before I came across this video, I put up, when are women as a collective going to check their misandry? And I had some other women try to tell me or try to check me or try to tell me I was wrong. And then you have this. As a matter of fact, the person who posted this, because it's not posted by the person in this video, said the feminists are starting to become self-aware, and they put up the praise hands as if they're applauding what she said. They are applauding this behavior. This is why many men out here have an issue with women today, because of this type of behavior not being called out and not being checked. Not by us. It has to be done by them. What, are you scared of the female species? Now I see why girls in school used to always say they did not hang around other girls, because they brought a lot of drama and used to hang around boys. It's this right here. But for the most part, a lot of people were going in on her. But all I'm saying is this: keep your eyes peeled for people like her. She is absolutely dangerous. And I want to know, are they going to go to her house? Are they going to bring up charges on her? Because when she says she wants to kill men, even when they're not doing anything to her, that's a death threat on any man that comes and encounters her. What if a guy never came across this video? Never seen her face, and they just happen to walk down the street and she's there and they didn't even say anything to her. She will probably, I don't know, do whatever comes to mind to harm him, and he won't even know why. And because we have all these women groups out here that back up anything women say and or do, she might be found innocent. That's the other scary part about it. But you know, we live in the era of believe all women. Protect her. Me too. Women can do no wrong. And then you have this pop up. So to all you feminut cases, and you, well, I'm not going to address the misandrous individuals because you would agree with what she says. And to all you other individuals out there who heard what she said, and then I'm looking at the person who posted this, and I just happened to look on the side of their where their bio is, artist, right leaning, independent. That's all I needed to see. No wonder they agreed with what this chick said. That means that they would do the same thing. But see, you know, there's nothing wrong there. Now, if a guy came on here and spilled this rhetoric, oh, toxic masculinity. And the thing is, a guy could come on here and not talk about that. He could just talk about guy stuff and they'll say it's toxic. It's a weird paradigm that we're living in. But I just wanted to bring this to y'all. Y'all let me know what you think.